everybody, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new, then hi, my name is Caitlin. Welcome. And today I need your help. It is that time of the year where I am really thinking about 2024 and my 2024 panning journey. So a big part of that journey is a Pan That palette, which is a terrifying thing to try and sort out and try and decide upon, because I'm stuck with that palette then all year. If you don't know what a Pan That palette is, basically it is a palette that I focus on throughout the whole year, and I try and finish or get as close to finishing that whole palette as humanly possible. So it's really important that I like the palette and that it has shades that I can use everyday-ish. It's really nerve-wracking. I think this is the most nerve-wracking decision that I have to make this year. Obviously not of all year, but in the panning YouTube realm, definitely. So I have a few palettes with me today. I have a few contenders. I think I know which one I want to focus on, but I'm not going to tell you. I want you to kind of sound out your opinions in the comments and let me know which one you would like to see panned the most. But just before we do jump into the video, if you have not already, definitely like and subscribe because it would mean the world to me. I am currently doing Vlogmas. We are day 5, I think. Yes, day 5 of Vlogmas. I am uploading 31 days straight, 7 days a week until the end of the year and possibly carrying on through next year, but we won't talk about that just yet. Everything on my face today, as well as everything that I talk about, will be linked down in the description box as always. Those links will be affiliated, so if you do shop using my links, thank you so much. That means the world to me. It just means I get a small commission out of your sale with no extra expense to you guys. Okay, let's jump into this. In no particular order, let's go. So the first palette is this palette. This is the Nabla Cutie Platinum palette, and this was in the running last year for Pan That palette as well. There are 2 mattes in this palette and 4 shimmers. You can see it is very, very neutral and it is very kind of cool toned, which I actually really, really like. I do like my cool tone neutrals a lot. So that has a big green tick going for this palette. However, it's 6 shades, which could be a good or a bad thing, to be honest. My current Pan That palette is the Modern Renaissance palette. That has 14 shades, and it's been a little bit much for me. So 6 shades could be a really, really good kind of happy medium. There are only 2 mattes, however, which could be a little bit limiting. Only having 2 mattes, you're kind of doing the same thing over and over and over again. And I don't really like this gold shade. I don't think it goes with the rest of the palette. I just think it's a little bit of an oddball to have in this palette. So that shade probably wouldn't be worked on and it'd just be these 5. So I've given a few positive and negatives about this palette. It has been neglected for quite a few years, so it would be nice to get a lot of really, really, really good solid use out of it. But again, there are some negatives with this, so I'm not convinced with this one. Next is a palette that a lot of people were very shocked that I actually owned. I do love my bright fun colourful makeup, as you can see with this look, and I have the That's Taupe palette from Colourpop. Again, this has been neglected this year just because my Pan That palette has been the Modern Renaissance, which has a lot of these shades in it. However, this has a lot more variety of mattes, but I think it is lacking on the shimmer variety. We have a really beautiful Super Shock here, which would be amazing to work on. These 2 shades here, the shade Constrictor and Cold Blooded, are very, very similar. And then the shade Snake Eyes is a little bit more rose toned. A few of the mattes do look quite similar as well. And also Colourpop is very, very hard to pan. However, like I said, this palette has been neglected, so it would be amazing to get some use out of it. As you can see, there are no pans in this yet. This shade Boa would be a really good setting shade. This shade Bedrock would be a really good brow shade, so they are 2 very, very easy shades to get through. There is a mix of cool toned and warm toned in here. Pebble Beach is very, very warm toned, and then this shade Rock Steady is very cool toned. So that's a really good mix of tones as well. So I don't think I get too bored with this, but it is something that I'm not jumping for joy about panning. I don't know, possibly in the near future, this will be a focus palette because I do want to get some use out of it. But pan that palette, I'm not sure just yet. Next is actually one of my newest palettes, and I love this thing so much. But do I want to pan a basically brand new palette? I don't know. This is the NYX Ultimate Jean Baby palette. I love blue. I love blue so much. So I know that this wouldn't be everyone's first pick for pan that palette, but for me, I could wear blue every day. I know that's a little bit out there, but we do also have these neutral shades. Something that I wouldn't like is there's not really a brow shade for me in here, and there's not really a lid setting shade. There is this white, but obviously that's white. There's not a shade that's my skin colour, not a brow shade, and also the only neutral shimmer is this super dark shimmer. So I'm a little bit on the fence about that. I would need extra things to be able to use this as an everyday palette, but I would get such good use out of these blues. I would get such good use out of these neutrals as well. I know I could finish a lot of these shades quite easily, and it would definitely be a nice palette to pan, but again, it is so new. I got this in September, so I've only had a few months to play around with it. Next is a super old palette that has been neglected. This is the Soft Glam palette. So as I said before, I have been working on the Modern Renaissance this year, which has a few duplicate shades in here. It's also the same formula, so I'm very, very acquainted with it. There is mainly warm tones in here. However, Dusty Rose does pull slightly cool. I do like my cool tone shades, so that might be a little bit of like a bad point because this is very, very warm toned. I feel like the shimmers are okay, they're not great. I am lacking an inner corner shade in this palette because these two lighter shimmers are quite yellow toned and they are way too dark for my skin tone to be used as an inner corner shade. But I have a lid setting shade in Tempera. I have a brow shade in Cypress Umber. They are the two shades that I have been working on this year as well. I think it is nice, but it is very similar to the Modern Renaissance. I think I might get burnt out with this. I'm not too sure about this one. A part of me wants to pan all of them and a part of me wants to pan none of them because I'm so scared of pan that palette. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. It definitely would be a nice neutral palette to pan. I know the formula, as I said, and I know I can do it. I think I could get quite a few of these shades panned, obviously going by my Modern Renaissance journey this year. Next, some of you may call me crazy for even considering this, but this is my Book of Magic palette from BeautyBay. This is what it looks like inside. I think this would be such a fun challenge to pan. However, it is limited edition. Once it's gone, it's gone. I can't get this back, which is definitely something that is holding me back from panning it. It's the same with the Subculture. I was thinking about panning the Subculture last year and then I realised that it is limited edition. I can't get it again and I really don't know if I can do that to myself. I have got good use out of it, as you can see. This is currently my Project Level Up Level 5 palette. I am wearing the shade Voodoo as well today. My first crease shade is Voodoo here. I don't think I could finish this palette. A, because there are so many shades here, but B, it's limited edition and I do love this. I mention this in pretty much every single video. The thought of not having it anymore does make me immensely sad. So it would be so fun and I think I could get such good progress. But do I want to let it go? And then finally, this... not these shades down here, just ignore these shades. This is my old Soph X Revolution palette, and that palette was actually my original Pan That palette, my first ever Pan That palette on this channel, and these are just the leftover shades. I do have a whole video repressing this palette, so I'll link it up in the cards. It's really, really satisfying. I love that video. So if you're looking for like a chill time, definitely go check that out. But these shades are not full shades. All of these shades had big pans in them when I repressed them, which means there's not much product left in here. So I really do think I could finish all of this in 12 months, and that will mean I have finished the whole Soph X Revolution palette. I do worry that it is very, very warm toned. This purple I'm not a huge fan on. I do love my cool tones, and the only cool tone is this shade called Pug, so I would have to mix it with something else as well. They are quite firmly repressed. Obviously, I did it myself, so I know, but I do think I could get this done in a year. I do think there are some challenging shades for me though. I don't want to border on hate panning, but it would be so satisfying to have like a guaranteed empty palette by the end of the year. Okay, so these are some of my picks. What do you think? Let me know what you think the best one would be for the year of 2024. I'm really nervous to start this panning journey because I've actually fallen in love with my Modern Renaissance. She's looking so beaten up, it's ridiculous. I did do a update on the 1st of December if you were interested in checking that out, and I will also be doing a finale right at the end of the month, so hopefully we can get really good use out of that before I put her aside. I will probably actually continue my Modern Renaissance as well, side by side with the new palette. I haven't fully decided how I want to do that yet, but I'll definitely have a think about it and tell you guys in my Pan That Palette finale, coming kind of soon, which is terrifying. Okay, here we go. Let me know down in the comments and your reasons why. Don't forget a reason why, because I need all the support. I need all the mental stimulation. I need everything. Please tell me why. Argue. I want P paragraphs, guys. Come on. So this is where I'm going to love you and leave you guys. If you did enjoy this video, definitely like and subscribe because it would mean the world to me. I hope you're enjoying Vlogmas so far. Obviously, we're only 5 days in, but I have been doing a lot of prep for this, so I really hope that you guys love it as much as I am loving doing it. Have an incredible day, and I will see you tomorrow for a brand new video. Bye!